Is it true? Do you have hairless knuckles? What in the is this becoming? What are these questions? Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Hi, I'm Jake Gyllenhaal, and Esquire has asked me to explain some things. Let's dive in, shall we? Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal, forget it, lost 30 pounds and started seeing his character in his nightmares. Can you explain what your journey to create your Nightcrawler character was? How long do we have? There's nothing more interesting than listening to an actor talk about the creation of a character. Guys, wake up. It was an incredible script. So when you're working with the beginning of something, the material is so good, you don't have to do as much as, an actor might say they do. I mean, I did lose weight, but I had many ideas about that and why to do it, and I did it very safely. Have you ever been in any talks about joining the Bond franchise? I feel like I feel like this is an appropriate place to talk. Be honest, don't you? This is the choice picture to play James Bond. It's really great. Of course. Absolutely true. The first American Bond ever. What would it take to get you on the dance floor for Steven Soderbergh? Oh, because you're talking about Magic Mike. Because I'd get on the dance floor for Steven Soderbergh anytime. In this context, I mean, I don't know. I think you're implying, what would it take for you to take your shirt off? Is that was the implication? Okay, I understand now. So you're just beating around the bush and asking me if I would take my shirt off, but putting it in an artistic context and make me seem like, anyway, I get what you mean. What would it take? Obviously not a shirt. What's the next question I'm gonna get? Is there a future for Mysterio in the MCU? No. Any chance we may see Mr. Music from John Mulaney's Sack Lunch Bunch again? God, I hope so. It was really the only space where I could be my true self. Have you had the chance to meet Sean Paul after your impassioned defense of his music? Defense? I don't feel like that's fair. It wasn't a defense. It's true that when Sean Paul is featured on a song, he brings it back alive. Like, there's one lifetime of a great pop song, then there's the Sean Paul lifetime. And yes, I haven't met him in person, but he did send me an email and thanked me for my support. Okay, well, number one, what I will tell you is that Paul Newman was not my godfather. That's to set the record straight, though I would probably have done anything to make that happen if I had any choice in the matter. I will tell you that Jamie Lee Curtis is, and I'm not gonna get emotional about this except to say that I think that when you have someone who is just an incredible human being and who knows how to love, and they happen to be your godparent, and they are so generous, and they teach you about generosity and practice that in their life, there's nothing better. And I hope that I can be that for someone. That's all I can say.
Get your helos out of here now!
Favorite Michael Bay films of all time? I would say Jaws. Oh no, sorry, that's not Michael Bay. Who is it? Michael Bay. The name rings a bell. The Rock. And Armageddon, really only truly because of the moment of like tracing that seems awkward. Really The Rock, and just generally not just Michael Bay, but anything Ed Harris is in. Can you speak at all about the rumored Roadhouse remake? I will say that I had the honor of working with Patrick Swayze when I made this movie called Donnie Darko, and he was just an incredible human being. I loved working with him, and he was so kind to me throughout shooting and then afterwards, and just think he lived his life even when he was sick with such dignity and was just such a big, huge heart. So anyway, yeah, Doug Liman and I have been friends for a long time, and we've thought about doing things together for many years. And this was just something where when we started talking about it, there were all these incredible ideas that came up, and I can't wait to jump into it with him. Maggie Gyllenhaal becomes director to watch with The Lost Daughter. Tell us about your sister's directorial debut. Do you have plans to direct? I'll get the less important question out of the way, which is, I do have plans to direct. The more important question is, tell us about your sister's directorial debut. What do I say? I'll let her speak for herself, but the movie is incredible and many people know how brilliant she is, but they really have no idea, even with this film, what she has in her mind and in her heart. Biggest memory of working with Stephen Sondheim. I don't think when I was, if you were to ask the kid in me, because I'm a big musical theater fan, that I would meet him, let alone work with him. I don't think that I would believe it. I think he's the last great titan of the American musical. My fondest memory of working with him are really his notes. He would send me these very concise 3 or 4 different notes. I would take them into the next performance, usually maybe 1 sentence, 2 sentences, and they would open up the entire show for me. They would blow my mind. Anyway, I could talk a lot about it, but it's hard to even think that I'm answering this question about the memory of him. What's your most standout memory of working on Donnie Darko? I remember first day of shooting, we shot before we began one scene, which was the opening, because we had to do it at sunrise. I was told that I was going to be picked up by someone at around 2:30 in the morning. Sure enough, there's a knock on my door. I was living in this little apartment in LA, and I opened the door, and there was this Frenchman. First thing he said to me was, "Let's make a movie!" Like that. It was 2:30 in the morning, and I hadn't really slept because I was so nervous about being in a movie. That guy drove me to set, and I remember he had a stick shift, and he had a walkie-talkie, and on it said, "Editor" on it. And I thought, oh wow, this is really low budget. The editor is driving me to set. But I was like, oh God, I hope this guy isn't the editor. Because he was driving, he's like, how exciting is this? Da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh my God. And then I realized he was just this really wonderful French guy, and he's been my friend ever since. 20 years later, he's one of my closest friends. That's one little anecdote from Donnie Darko. I have many more, but that's a fond memory. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it, and have a good day.